Hello everybody, this is Gold League Gamer 1 and Dyne, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI.
Where Edgar started off standing on the mountain. A little interesting sprite work there. It's easier to see if you pause the video right when it loads. Let's getting into the cave to South Figaro, the first actual dungeon in the game. And it starts off with a battle.
Yep. Yeah.
Now this is actually the only time in the game you'll see these enemies. When you come back here later, they will be replaced with something more difficult.
So the Hornet and Blearies are a one-time thing.
Yep, and there's one more type of enemy in this section, if I remember correctly. I think it's like Crawley.
Well, I'm guessing what they did in that case was since they knew that you were getting higher levels, so they probably replaced them with more difficult enemies.
Yep, and of course I'll point out a situation which brings us back here later on. And if you're a perfectionist on this game, you want to make sure to encounter every enemy type you can, and I'll explain that later on as well.
Alright, well, I'm not gonna go for that then. I barely made it through in my first playthrough.
Now the key to these early battles is, of course, Edgar's auto crossbow. It's a free all-enemy attack and usually one-shots these early enemies.
Yeah, I don't end up using the auto crossbow until a later boss fight.
I'm trying to remember if his normal attack is stronger than the single arrow shot or not. I'll have to double check. And this is actually a waste of items right here, because the healing spring is about to be introduced.
Well, I did. Oh, well, I thought it wouldn't be till later, though.
Oh, it's right on here. And of course, the best key to healing is Terra's magic, but free healing at the recovery spring.
Yeah, see, that's something I didn't know about, or at least I didn't remember.
Now, the sad thing is there are only really 3 of them in the whole game. One in Narsh, one here, and one a few hours from now.
You mean like free recover spots, huh?
Yep. Yeah, the one in Narsh is in the training hall. It's in one of the buckets.
Oh yeah. Oh, but I'm guessing the third one is in like the only end of the game that it's free.
No, it'll be pointed out later on. In fact, I don't think you can miss it.
Reminds me of how in Super Mario RPG there are at least a few recovery spots, and that includes one in of the game.
Well, there's Mario's pad, and if I remember correctly, Flower Town's Inn becomes free after Chapter 2.
No, Rose Town's always free. Mario's pad is not an inn.
No, it's still free healing.
Yeah, and also,
Rose Town.
Of course, there's Monster Town, there's Nimbus Land, and Bowser's Keep.
The nice thing about the world map in that game is it's so easy to backtrack and get free healing with only a few seconds.
Yes, another thing I like about that game. Yeah, but we're just comparing them. All right, anyway, now we're going a bit further into the cave.
It gives us something to talk about during battles, at least.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
dead end right there. Now, another thing about this, there are some treasure chests in here, but if you don't open them now and open them when you come back later, their contents change and actually improve. But it's not overly necessary.
Oh, you mean like, for instance, like now they'd give you maybe a tonic, but later they'd give you a mid tonic.
Yep, something like that.
Oh.
Okay, that heartburn animation looks like it was going to cast slow on Terra based on the animation, but it's actually hit her with the sap status ailment, which is like poison but can't be cured with an antidote. More of a nuisance than a pain.
Alright.
This game is actually awfully generous with money now that I look at it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but at least regarding MP, it seems like using up a lot at this early in the game.
Well, you can also have it target everyone. That way you only have to cast it once or twice instead of 3 times.
It took me a while to figure out that really works.
Yep. Starting on, I don't remember if it's Oh, yeah, starting on Final Fantasy 2 actually is when you can have it target single or target all.
Which is also known as Final Fantasy IV in Japan.
No, I'm talking about the original 2.
Oh, on the NES.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, on 4 there are some spells where you can target all, others where you can't, where it's single target only.
Yeah. Hey, now I was wondering, do you feel that Final Fantasy 2 and 3 should be re-released here in the United States?
Oh, they have been already.
No, I've never seen them.
Well, they're on PSP. 3 was remade for DS, which also got a PSP and Steam port. 2 got a remade on PS1, Game Boy Advance, and PSP.
Okay. And what about 5?
5 is available on Game Boy Advance and PS1.
Oh, so that means I could play 2 and 5 if I wanted.
Yep.
Okay.
And the Game Boy Advance versions are probably the best. The PSP 1 and 2 are both really good, updated graphics, but the additional content isn't nearly as good as the Game Boy Advance ones. And you may notice that a ninja walked by.
Yeah, I remember that. I think Captain Turbo did Final Fantasy 1 for his channel, but not the one on the NES.
Yeah, the one on the NES is extremely hard.
Yeah, I didn't know that until Dragon pointed that out to me.
In fact, on the PS1 version, they actually had an easy mode and an original mode.
So I'm guessing original was more challenging.
Yeah, original mode was basically the equivalent of the original NES difficulty. Then on the Game Boy Advance version, they changed it completely. They basically revamped the whole system to be more like later games.
All right, but do any of the Final Fantasies have a New Game Plus? Do you know that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, 13 doesn't. That's the one I finished most recently, and none of the others really do.
Yeah, because I know this one doesn't.
Nope. Yeah, the closest you can get is actually the sequel to Final Fantasy IV, but in that it's not really so much a New Game Plus as keeping your save files allows you to unlock more characters and carry on with them and carry them into the final chapters, since each chapter has its own individual save slot.
Cool. Yeah, I don't end up buying equipment now because I want to wait till I have a good enough amount of money before I do so.
Oh, you have plenty of money from the start of the game to be able to upgrade these current characters' equipment, and it's actually highly recommended because the first full dungeon is coming up after this, complete with boss fight.
Alright, well, see, I wanted to I wanted at least enough to buy Phoenix Downs and tents.
Yeah, they're not overly necessary at the start of the game, again because of Edgar's auto crossbow. Equipment should always be the top priority.
Yeah.
That way you won't need to use as many healing items.
Yeah, but Terra doesn't have the life ability yet.
Not yet. Again, smart fighting, you won't need it.
Okay. So, well, I've only played it once, so obviously I wouldn't know which equipment to equip when.
Well, basically, general rule: when you get to a new town, check the equipment. The stores will show you if it's better or worse and who can equip it.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I didn't really notice a lot of difference in stat, and a lot of stat differences.
No, there
only some.
Sometimes it's small, but oftentimes absolutely worth it. And in terms of characters, you can actually customize them pretty heavily later on. I'll point that out when the time comes. Here's our tutorial on relics, aka accessories. But accessories is too long for the English script, so they had to change it to relics.
Oh, that's why they had relics in here. Okay.
Just a couple of explanations. I don't know why they brought up Dragoon boots right now, because you don't get them until quite a while. At the others, you can see fairly soon in. Oh, can't afford the sprint shoes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, fortunately, if you get extra tools, you can sell them and only keep one, because So long as you have one, that's all you'll ever need.
Oh, really? So if I have a duplicate, I could always sell it.
Yep.
Because only one party member is going to need it.
Yep. Edgar's the only one who can use them, and you can use them indefinitely.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna get the sprint shoes here, but I ran out of money, so I couldn't get it now.
And there's actually a free healing spot north of the town. So no need to stay in this inn too.
But it's not the one that we saw earlier in this video, isn't it?
Right. It's an actual bed with the sleeping music, just north of town.
Ah, so it works kind of like the inns, though.
Mm-hmm. Just free.
Yeah.
And actually, for those playing this game for the first time, I actually highly, highly recommend going out to the forests outside of town and grinding up to level 15.
Yeah. Oh, and here's my favorite part of the game: the Chocobo rides.
Those good old Mode 7 graphics.
Yeah.
And each town that has a Chocobo stable actually has a little unique animation with them leaving the town on the Chocobo.
Yeah, I believe, like, if I remember correctly, like, the only two staples that were used in the entire Final Fantasy series were the Chocobos and the Moogles.
Well, the Moogles really didn't get it fully introduced and cemented in their character until 5. Chocobos started appearing in number 2.
Ah.
But the Chocobo theme in number 2 only is about half as long as what we recognize, so it actually becomes really repetitive and grating.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they fixed that in number 3.
Okay. Yeah, look, this is one area where I did not even need a walkthrough because the route to take is pretty straightforward in here.
Pretty linear, but there are a couple of side paths that have some pretty good chests.
Ah.
They're slightly hidden. These guys are interesting in that they permanently have the Berserk status, so they hit harder than they normally would. If I remember that correctly.
Okay.
There's a way to double check later, but wouldn't quite call it. See, if you head south and go behind the wall there's a chest to the south.
Well, but it would have probably had something totally useless.
No, the items in here are pretty good for this point in the game, including a pretty good weapon for Locke.
Okay.
And once again, hitting him in the back does about double damage. Usually not totally double, but between 1.5 and twice as much damage.
Okay. Oh, a shadow!
Not the same one we saw in town, by the way.
Yeah.
And he's hanging out in the bar. If you talk to him, you'll actually meet him as a potential party member, but he does not join.
Oh. Yes, but we won't spoil who it is until we actually talk to him.
Yep, he'll show up again later.
Yeah, basically that was a sign to just follow it.
The one in South Figaro is entirely optional. This one is, of course, part of the dungeon. Not the same guy. And quick heal up. And for those of you wondering, to cast the spell on everybody, when it comes time to select your target, push forward on the directional pad. It'll target everyone.
Oh, you mean left on the control pad, right?
Yep. I say forward because I'm just thinking and point it towards your party.
Yeah.
On Final Fantasy IV, you have to push L or R, which is a little more intuitive, in my opinion. These guys do not like Terra. Just whack them till they die. Staple to any Final Fantasy battle system.
That sounds a lot like the "What's a Hemway" trope we have on the Super LB Heroes tropes page.
Mm-hmm. How do you kill this guy? Just hit him until he dies. What's a hen weigh? Oh, about a pound. What's a Grecian urn? Oh, about 20 euros a day. It's that kind of joke.
Yeah.
Oh, the trilliums are annoying because they can poison your party members. Fortunately, missed lock. So if you have enough money for star pendants, they're handy to have in this area, just to protect you from poison. But no longer outnumbered, just take them down one at a time.
Alright. Usually you won't be able to tell which enemy is which until their name goes away upon defeat.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually rectified in Final Fantasy VII because it added an extra help window that allows you to... Nope, game over. Annihilated.
Yep. Yeah, they say annihilated instead of game over in this game.
But once again, if you get a game over, you start back where you saved, complete with all the experience you got up to that point. Mount Kolts round 2. And I don't remember if you get full healing or are healed up to the point you were at when you saved. Probably the latter. But since you're going to use a tent most of the time before you save, it doesn't matter too much.
Yep.
Ouch, critical hit.
Yep, so we've pretty much seen this fight, but at least it'll move a little faster now.
Yep. I think Terra gained 2 levels since he entered here. The other guy has got 1. It'll only keep going up.
Right. That's a good thing.
Yeah, Terra even got 6 more MP than previous. Enough for 1 more spell. Yeah, no treasure there, but there's the one from the cave I mentioned. Yep. If you head south and go behind the wall there. Same enemies again.
Yep.
Actually, I don't remember if these are the only enemies within the cave areas of the mountain or not. There may be one more. But I may also be thinking of the ROM hack too. Because they don't have all the same enemies. Da 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 da. Danny gained a level.
Yeah.
I always thought it weird that they spin around before they do their victory pose.
I thought you'd be still weirded out by how I renamed Edgar Danny.
No. I played through this and Final Fantasy IV a lot as a kid. I'd often rename them to familiar characters or people I knew.
Yeah, I do more renaming here than when I play Chrono Trigger.
Well, you have twice as many characters too.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was this in Chrono Trigger, like a lot of the default names are fine enough for me.
I'm trying to remember if the default names in Chrono Trigger start out in all caps or not. I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
That's one thing that actually bugged me about this game for the longest time with the SNES English translation. Just with the default names are in all caps for really no reason.
Unless the game makers were trying to put emphasis on the name.
No, I don't think it works for anyone other than Kefka! See, I can have it up because my name is in all caps. You didn't think I was going to be in this video, did you? Well, I can surprise anyone at any time.
Well, judging by your voice, I'm guessing Kefka is actually a clown.
Oh, people call me the Psycho Clown. However, I'm much more than that. I am a Psycho Bozo Clown. Oh, wait. A Psycho Sadist Clown. There we go. Oh, why the hell did I say Bozo anyway? He's a famous comedian, if you can even call him that. I have magic.
Oh, I think we're gonna get a lot of entertainment out of that.
Kefka's position as a clown wasn't fully cemented. People think I was a court jester. I really shouldn't refer to myself in the third person like that. Even though in the Japanese version I do use boku, which is the first person pronoun usually used by young kids. Oh my God! I've always been a mad child.
Okay.
back to my normal voice.
Oh, I said, although that was quite entertaining to listen to.
It's fun to do him every so often, once in a while. But
yeah, it was even more entertaining that it binds this precious voice from Super Metroid.
No, I will not let him take his revenge. Oh, be quiet! I can have the ring if I want to, because I said I'm Kefka. No, we hate him. We hate him. No, we love him. No, I said don't talk to me anymore.
Alright, so we're back again.
Oh, we died? 2 minutes later. Yeah, unfortunately, switching between those guys so much kills my throat. And more brawlers. How many times have we run into these guys now?
Oh, are you gonna start another drinking game?
No. I only have a bottle of water with me.
Yeah, 'cause like you did for Sinister Coon's Let's Journey Through Mario World.
Yep. When I'm back in the recording session on that, I don't know if I'm going to continue the game or not. But I'm not a heavy drinker.
Well, your drinking contest actually made the text of the last part.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I don't remember the part 6 at all.
Well, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I just don't remember the recording session. That's probably going to be up by the time this video goes up. So Gaming UA 007 for the YouTube channel.
Yep. Well, let's see. This part is gonna go up January 6th.
Yeah, got 2 weeks. It'll probably be up.
Yeah. Yes, but we are actually recording this commentary before Christmas.
Yep, poisoned. Yeah, it is the 22nd of December this time. I'm kind of looking forward to Christmas. I'm actually looking forward to a 4-day weekend more than Christmas at this point.
Ah.
The primary reason is my brother's family won't be here until next week.
You mean your brother that's still alive?
Yep. Yeah, his family usually comes for the holidays, but they won't be here till after Christmas this year. So we probably won't open the majority of gifts until then. But of course, by the time this goes up, it'll have already all passed.
Yeah. Yeah. But do you ever see your late brother's family?
Ever? No, he died before he got married.
Ah.
Edgar's poisoned, Tara's down, and the save point is still a few screens away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really nasty battle lineup, because you have the one that can poison you, one that can petrify you, and the Tusker has that gore attack, which can do almost triple digits if you're unequipped properly.
Yeah, and for the record, the reason I saved it there is is in the event I get a game over, I don't have to go through that first section again.
Which may be to your detriment, simply because if you get a game over again, you'll keep your experience. If you load state, you'll lose it all. See, with the magic of editing, you'll be back here 2 minutes later either way.
Yeah, but I don't have forever to do.
Wow, a tonic. What great battle spoils.
Good sarcasm, Dyne.
That's deadpan.
Alright, so you think... So you think I should not have save stated at that point?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Alright, well, like I said, I was on a bit of a time frame, so I didn't want to keep this going forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got 4 minutes left on this video.
Yep. Yeah, because my intention was to go as close to the half hour as possible.
Edgar needs healing badly. Actually, this is actually the first Final Fantasy that introduced the concept of limit breaks. If the character is is close to death, and you do a regular attack, they may pull off a special attack, but I don't know at what point in the game it actually unlocks. Earliest I've seen it is about a quarter of the way through the game. Sometimes the games also add insult to injury, where if you use a revival item on someone, and they'll only take a single hit before they get knocked out again.
Well, sometimes you don't have any choice.
Mm-hmm. Usually the way to do it is have someone use a healing item and then someone cast a spell right away. You still have to be pretty quick sometimes.
Well, yeah, but the fact that it's time-based, not turn-based, it doesn't really give you a lot of time to just revive and then heal.
Well, if you set the ATB to wait, it'll allow you to navigate your menus and make your choices without the enemy attacking. I think that's in this one. I know it's a big part of 7, starting there. But I have to double check in the options menu.
Alright.
And it's actually an option when you first start up Chrono Trigger, too.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Yeah, hogging all the experience there, Danny. Actually, I don't know if Locke got any because he's petrified or not. Another round of healing and just keep going. See, I actually find this dungeon to be fairly difficult for this point in the game, because of course it's the first one. It's basically twice as long as the cave to South Figaro, and you have one huge area before you actually fight the boss, so your resources may be a little strained by then.
Hey, did you ever worry about that bridge collapsing and you'd fall over?
No.
Because that bridge looks very much in bad condition.
It's basically one of those where it would break off if it was scripted to.
Oh. Yeah, because us humans probably couldn't be able to make it across that kind of bridge.
Yeah, it looks pretty sturdy. Of course, it was built for humans to cross, so they could get to the other side. And getting plenty of money, at least. Of course, as you're walking across it, you have that little dip. And I forgot to point out the other slightly out of the way area in one of the caves. Oh well.
Okay, and looks like that's it for today. So until next time, this is Gold League Gamer 1 and Dyne. Later, folks.
Bye, guys.